giant version of candy. We've done this 3 or 4 times before, and it's fun every time. So we're doing it again. This time, we're going to try and tackle Pixie Stix.
Here's the basic idea. We have some Pixie Stix, we have some Kool-Aid, and we have 50 pounds of sugar. Can we turn this into the world's largest Pixie Stick?
If you're not familiar with Pixie Stix, this is a little paper tube, and you tear open the paper tube, and inside is colored, flavored candy powder. About that much of it.
It's like a teaspoon. Yeah.
Adds quite a bit of color to your tongue. Just a little bit of tartness, a little tang to it. And so we think we can go ahead and make our own. The goal is to be proportional as much as we can. It's got a paper tube on the outside. That's all it is. It's just paper. It seems to be glued together, crimped at the top and bottom.
Sort of a white stripe where the paper's glued together.
White stripe. We're not going to put the serial number in here because this is being made at plant.
And
Best by December of 2020. We've got a while. Unless you're watching this in the future and it's past December of 2020, in which case this Pixie Stick is now expired. Here's what we were thinking. We've got paper, because we need a paper wrapper, and we were thinking that it would be nice if we can just wrap it around PVC. We're not going to put the candy in here. This is basically just a measurement guide. And I took some measurements with calipers, and the diameter of this pipe here is approximately 10 times the diameter of one of these little paper straws. How do you want to start? You want to just start by making the paper tube and then mix up the sugar afterward?
I was just going to dump some sugar on the counter. Does that seem like a bad idea?
It does. See, maybe a bowl.
Oh! That's how you do this, right? The recipe that I found online to make this taste as close to a Pixie Stick as possible is 1 full pack of Kool-Aid powder to a ½ cup of sugar. I have over 60 packets of Kool-Aid here, so technically I could do 30 cups of sugar. When you did the estimate, you said that this stick needs to have roughly 5 pounds of sugar.
So yeah, we came up with a size change of approximately 10 times the diameter, 10 times the length, and 10 times the depth, which is just the diameter again because it's a tube. 10 times 10 times 10, that's 1,000. So we are going for approximately a 1,000 times volume. We measured out some of these Pixie Stix on our scale here, and it's not 100% accurate because this isn't that accurate of a scale, but it seemed that 3 Pixie Stix seem to be almost exactly 7 grams. That gives us 2.33 repeating grams per Pixie Stick. And if you multiply that times 1,000 and then convert it into pounds, because we're in America, then you end up with just over 5 pounds, like 5.15 pounds about. Something in my math might be weird, or the density of this powder might not be the same as the density of our sugar mixed up, but that was the result I was getting. I think just to be safe, we should probably try and do like 10 pounds, and then if we have extra, then we have extra, that's fine.
So I got 50 pounds of sugar.
You did. That's probably more than we need.
I'm going to, just by weight, I'm going to put this on our scale. I'm just going to dump in sugar until I have 10 pounds, and then I'm going to measure out how many cups that is, because for every cup I need 2 packets of Kool-Aid. So I want to make sure that we get that ratio right. Also, as far as flavor goes, I don't think that just Kool-Aid is going to be correct, because most Pixie Stix have a little tiny bit of tartness. So there's one other thing that I want to add that you introduced me to, and that is citric acid. We're going to go to pounds. All right, let's see how many cups of sugar this will be. Well, 1 cup's almost ½ a pound, so. Okay, so 10 pounds is just barely over 22 cups. So that means I need 44 packets of Kool-Aid in this. Glad I got so many.
These pieces of paper are just a little over 6 feet. We'll make the roll, and then we'll trim down afterward, I think. Now, we do want this to look like actual Pixie Stix, so we went ahead and printed off a nice label for it. Look at that alignment. You know what that means? It means I did my math right. It means I know how to multiply things by pi. It's really not very complicated. I just like to celebrate little things.
Would you like 44 packets of Kool-Aid?
Ooh, Huh.
Yeah, I would have thought it would make more, but that is 44 packets of Kool-Aid.
Mostly I'm just surprised by the color.
Right?
I thought you were saying it was just going to be too white, but it's purplish. But it is going to get diluted quite a bit.
Just gonna dump all this in here.
I am making some pretty big assumptions about the strength of this tube. I just wrapped paper around it a few times, and we're just going to hope that it'll hold full of sugar.
We'll see. It might still just be too white. We'll see. Oh, but it is overwhelmingly cherry smelling. Wow, I thought that your adhesive spray was too strong to smell, but this is impressive. We're gonna try something.
Just add a little bit more red color here.
Yep, I'm just gonna spritz the top with a food safe color mist and see what happens. It might be food safe, but I don't think the propellant is. The thing is about these pixie sticks, the color isn't intensely vibrant. Like, yes, it will stain your tongue, but it's a very pale pink. So I may have just made our homemade pixie stick mix much brighter. Let's see. Not exactly the same, but that's okay. Pixie stick. Ooh! I think I like it more.
Larger grains of sugar. The pixie stick is ground super fine.
I'm adding a few more packs just to make sure that flavor really comes through. The Kool-Aid packets do have citric acid in them, but to give it again just a little bit more of a kick, or 10 pounds of sugar, a couple tablespoons. I'll start with like 8 tablespoons. See what that does.
I think we want to try blending, not all of it, but some of it, just to see what that does to the texture. And I think it would be good to have some really fine powder mixed in with our larger grains of sugar. Doesn't probably have a blending sugar option built in. So.
Oh, wow, does that work well? We're making homemade powdered sugar here, guys.
Oh, it does. Ooh, look at that. Compare that in color.
Yes. Okay, that's pretty perfect.
It looks like they use what's probably a rolling machine to crimp everything together, and we're not going to have that exactly, but I think we can just take a little bit of glue, crimp down one end until it's just good and glued shut, and that'll give us a pretty similar result. Just to make sure this is really tightly bound together, I am actually just going to go put it in the clamp, in the desk vise. That might give us a little bit of crimp lines on it. I think we have a giant pixie stick here, and we need to fill it with sugar.
That's pretty darn close.
That looks fantastic, in my opinion. Okay, I'm going to see if I can get the whole thing to balance on the scale at once. There we go, 8.45 pounds, so almost 8.5 pounds. So mixing up 10 pounds of sugar was a fantastic call, right in between the prediction and the actual. I would say we definitely have a difference in sugar density. There's so little in here that it's not really compacting anything down at the bottom.
It's very fluffy.
Yeah, and as we saw, it's like a very blended, fine sugar, whereas this is coarser sugar. I love it, and I think it's perfect, and the greatest giant pixie stick that anyone's ever made.
I'm pretty happy about this.
I'm very happy with how our enormous pixie sticks turned out.
This is amazing.
I'm not really sure if the singular is supposed to be a pixie sticks, because it says that on
It
there,
is a pixie stick.
but it sounds like it's a plural, so
Yeah.
yeah, this is a pixie sticks, I suppose. There's really only one thing left to do. Let's see if I can tear this open.
Oh boy.
Ah, there it is.
Oh boy. I don't see this ending well in any capacity.
Delicious. It's pretty similar flavor.
Your teeth are so red. Oh no. Thank you.
Yeah. That's like 100 pixie sticks worth powder right there.
I think I'm good on my sugar for the day.
Yeah.
So I used to just break these open into my mouth as a kid. So let's see if
We're
we
going
can
to see if we're just going to
half.
fold it in half and see if it breaks. It does. That worked great.
Oh no!
Yeah, you're losing sugar from both ends there.
If it's like 2025,